So it is one of the most important quality of a human being. That means it is the efficiency of human being that we are able to speak or communicate. So communication, it is one of the vital quality, or it is the distinguished quality of human species. So communication should be so fluent and it should be easy to understand. But in certain cases, communication becomes a problem in everyone's life. So we will see communication barriers and what are the types of barriers today. Communication barriers, I will give some slides. I will show some slides regarding communication barriers. Just for a few minutes. Okay, communication barriers. Communication barrier, it means it is given there any disturbance which is specific, it's a specific item that can distort or prevent communication within an organization. It is the flow of communication gets impeded due to many reasons. Once again, barriers of communication are specific items that can distort or prevent the communication within an organization. It is the flow of communication gets impeded due to many reasons. So communication barrier means there are certain hurdles, there are certain preventions, obstructions, or distorts which prevents communication in an organization. So it may be due to many reasons. And we can say that these communication barriers, it can be of three types. One, it is personal barriers. Second is semantic barriers or language barriers. Then third one, it is physical barriers. So we will see one by one. Personal barrier. Personal barrier, it means any disturbance or interference that reduces the quality and effectiveness of communication. It can be written, visual, or some noise, etc. So we see it is a disturbance which reduces the quality or the effectiveness of communication when we present in front of the public. It may be a written disturbance or visual disturbance or even noise disturbance. So these personal barriers, it may be into different forms. The first one, it is attitude and opinion. Attitude and opinion, it means, show the screen. Attitude, it means the attitude of a person or the opinion of a person. In certain cases, we can take some examples. A certain people means a boss who is not interested to share the opinion, or even certain subordinates, they are doubtful or they are skeptical to ask questions to the boss. So they are afraid or scared of asking questions. So it's a general tendency to approach the boss. It is very difficult. Not in all cases. I feel that which is not in all cases. In certain cases, certain employees or subordinates, they are not in a position to reach the boss. They are skeptical to ask some questions. They are doubtful to ask some questions. So we say that it is due to the attitude of human being. It's a general tendency of human being to approach the boss or the higher authority to make some complaints. They are skeptical. So it's a personal barrier. So if we keep this type of problem or a personal problem, we cannot show our problems. We cannot say the problems in front of our boss. So generally, we say that it is absolutely a personal barrier. It is due to the problem of a person who is not able to tell his problem in front of his officer or the boss. So we say that it is due to the attitude. So attitude becomes the main reason for showing the problem. That's a personal problem. Next, we see in certain cases, we say that certain people, they are defensive, especially boss or an officer. Example, we take certain managers or general managers. They are not able, or they are not in a position to share some problems, especially regarding the organizational problems. Example, they don't like to share certain problems or certain managerial problems, so to the subordinates or the workers. So it's a thing that this type of problems cannot be shared, or it may not be shared with the subordinates, or we say that workers. So certain types of problems or certain types of communication which is kept only within them. It is due to the defensive nature of boss. So a class of people, they never like to share certain types of problems, certain types of communication to the other persons, especially those people who are subordinates. Those people, they are working under their hierarchy. So it's a problem to this type of boss or managers or higher authorities. They never like to share certain managerial problems or even certain problems which are related to the organization to their subordinates. It is due to the defensive nature. Example, we say that a certain case or certain problems which occurs in the organization, they never like to share with the employees. They never like to share these matters to their subordinates. So it's a matter of inclusiveness, or we say that they never like to share this type of activities or problems to their employees. So we say that it is the nature of defensiveness. So especially for, especially we say that, especially the boss or the higher authorities. Then come to block-minded persons. Certain block-minded personalities, they keep a certain portion of the message within their mind. They never like to share the entire quality or entire quantity of message to other people, to subordinates. So example, we say that suppose certain type of people, they will only a part of the message to their audience, and they keep a lion's share of message within them. Example, you see a professor or a teacher, school teacher, who knows, suppose 100% matter. He thinks that I will give only 60% of this message. I will keep a certain portion of my message within me. So this message is not to be shared with my students. I will not share this message. So I will share only 60%. Then I will keep this message. Example, 5 case study or 5 problem is there in front of you, and he thinks that I will give only 4. And 1 problem I will not share to the audience. So it's a matter, it's a problem. It's a problem of that personality. He thinks that he only shares this much of message, and a portion of the message which is kept within him. That is due to his block-minded quality, block-minded personality. So that person who is so block-minded, we can't say that he is narrow-minded. He is a block-minded person, and he is blocking a portion of the message. Therefore, we say that This type of personalities are block-minded, and due to his block-mindedness, so he only shares a portion of the message, and he keeps the remaining percentage of the remaining part of the message within. So that is block-minded person. Then another personal problem is, we say that judging a part of the problem. There are certain people, they only hear a part of the problem, and without hearing the actual problem, the total quantity of problem, they are giving the judgment. So it is not happening in the case of the judicial cases. It is not in judiciary. So in ordinary case, ordinary way of life, certain people, example, a teacher. So in front of a teacher who some students, they are making some complaints. Maybe problem of library, problem of mess, or something like that. So without hearing the total problem, total quantity of problem, actual problem, he is declaring the verdict. He is giving the decision. Okay, you do this type, you do this thing. I will solve this problem. So without hearing the actual problem, when a person who is taking the decision, that is, it is only after judging a part of the problem. It's a personal problem. Certain people, example, one more example I can take. If you approach a doctor, and during this time, pandemic situation, coronavirus situation, so if you go for any treatment other than that of this corona, he will keep the patient at a distance. Okay, what is your problem? Okay, you take this medicine. And even he is not able to take the receipt even, and he will give the treatment. He will write the prescription from a distance. So actually he is not interested. He is afraid. We know this matter. Even if he knows the things, he is scared of this particular thing, and he gives the medical prescription from a distance. And it is only, actually, it is due to judging a part of the problem. So it's a general tendency in most of the cases. People, they are not ready to hear the actual thing. It's a great problem in everyone's life. So it is a personal matter. It's a personal problem. And we say that it will affect the actual judgment. Next, we see bias and prejudices. It is happening everywhere. Certain people, they are biased. It is due to their prejudice. They take a wrong decision. Example, if there is a clash in between two groups of students, the judges or the teachers, they are not ready to take the actual position. They are not ready to hear the actual situation. If you take the biased decision, it will affect a major part of the student's life. It will adversely affect. One more example, we can say that if a teacher who is taking the class, suppose 80 students are there, 40 in right side and 40 in left side, and that teacher who thinks that in right side, a student who is having a personal enmity, yes, he is a wrong person, I don't like to teach this one. So if he rejects that side and he is taking only one part of the class and neglecting the other part, it is due to the biased nature of the teacher. It is due to the prejudiced nature of the teacher. That teacher who is so prejudiced with a class of students or a single student who is in the right side of the class, he is neglecting and he is avoiding the right side, and he is only taking this side. And one more example, if the same teacher who is taking two sections of the same branch, example A and B, if he is giving 80% of his total learning, total intelligence, total class he is devoting to section A and neglecting the B section, it is also due to the prejudiced nature, because he is getting the disturbance from B section. It is naturally happening. So if he is getting any type of disturbance from section B, he will automatically neglect that section. It should not be happen. It may not be happen. It must not be happen. But in natural tendency, in general tendency, it's a tendency of the human beings. If we are not getting the support from a particular class of students, we will neglect them. We means a class of people, class of student, teachers. They will neglect that particular section. Those who are disturbing him, he will disturb them. That means he will neglect them. It must not happen. So it is due to the biased and prejudiced nature of that teacher. Teachers should not be biased or prejudiced. A teacher can't be prejudiced man. He can't be a biased man. He has to treat the total students as single. But in certain cases, it may happen. So it is due to the personal obstacle, personal problem, or the prejudiced or biased nature of that teacher. So these are the personal matters or personal problems or personal matters of communication or communication barriers. Communication becomes a barrier in our life if it is a personal problem. If it is a personal matter, it is known as personal barriers. Next, we see semantic barriers. Semantic in the sense, semantic means it is related to language. Language becomes a great problem in everyone's life. A presenter should know at least one language. If he is not able to present the matter within him, he will be an utter failure. So semantic barriers are obstructions in communication due to lack of sound language. So language should be an important matter. Language is an important matter for the transmission of message. Right? It may be inefficiency in interpretation of message, or it may be due to some other problems. Language is the main reason. If the language is main reason, it is known as semantic barrier. So semantic barrier means the barrier of communication which causes due to language deficiency, language problem. That is known as semantic barrier. Semantic barrier, it is in different forms. I can read the forms: lack of fluency, then lack of expression and idea, deficiency in reception, forgetfulness, wrong decoding of message. Last is faulty translation. Once again, lack of fluency. If a person, once again we will see one by one, lack of fluency. A presenter who is such a person who should be fluent enough to give the message to the audience. It is the quality of a leader. It is the quality of a manager. It is the quality of a public speaker. He should be fluent enough in any of the languages. He must know either Hindi, English, or any other local language, as in the case of Indian scenario. So a person who is having the problem of language, he cannot give the presentation well. In spite of all his knowledge, which is inherent in him, he cannot present. If he sees the audience, means large public, he will be afraid of the people and he will run away from the people. That is also a semantic problem. So the first one, lack of fluency. Fluency is an important matter of presentation. When we give the presentation, when we give the message, when we transmit the message, we should be fluent enough to catch the attention of the people. Either we must know Hindi or English or Bengali or any other particular language in which to transmit the message, impart the message. So imparting of message or giving the message, one must be fluent in any of the language. And if a presenter who is not able to present in front of the people due to the language problem, that is a semantic problem. So semantic problem or a language problem, the first one, it is language fluency. Language should be so much fluent. That means the message we are going to give should be fluent enough to reach the public. The first problem is language deficiency or fluency of language, problem of fluency. Then lack of expression and idea. Suppose if you are fluent enough to give the message, no problem. But if you are not able to express the thing, expression power is so much important. We can give the message in 100% or even 90% we can give. In spite of having any type of language, we can give the message. If you are able to give the message in different means, our expression power is so much sound. We can use some gestures. It is not necessary that we are using some language. We can give the message through some expressions. We can transmit our ideas through expressions, gestures. That is paralinguistic language. We can use some paralinguistic languages. No problem. But even this person who is afraid of expression, if his message is so weak, it is a semantic problem. And if he is buffering, his sound is buffering, it means he is not able to produce the sound in proper way. It may be due to some physical matters. It is also treated as language problem because he is not well to express the ideas. So deficiency of expression, lack of expression and idea is a semantic problem. The first one, it is lack of fluency, and second one, it is expression and idea. Lack of expression and idea. Then deficiency of reception. A good speaker he must be a person who is able to hear the things. He should be a listener. Listening, speaking and writing. It is one of the most important quality of a language. Presenter. A presenter should be a listener. And if he is not able to listen the things, he cannot be a good presenter. Example, suppose if someone is teaching in the class, after teaching, the teacher who has taught the class, if he is asking a question to any student, but he was not following the class well, he cannot give the answer. There is no chance to give the reply. And if he is called before the board to teach the things what the teacher has taught in the class, that student will not do anything. He will stand in front of the students just like a statue because he did not hear the things. So one must be a good listener to present the things. A presenter should be a listener. Lack of receiving capacity is one of the most important deficiency or the problem of presentation. Or so it's a language problem. So a person should be a listener to present something. A good listener can be a good presenter. That is the maxim. Otherwise, he is not able to present the things. Right? Then another thing, it is the general nature of human beings. That is forgetfulness. Every one of us, we people, we have the tendency of forgetting the things. Forgetting is a natural tendency or inborn trait in our mind, in our personality. Otherwise, we are gods. Whatever we hear, if we are able to reproduce the things, no problem. But here, it's a general tendency of human beings that we are not able to reproduce the things what we hear. We are not computers, but human mind is so complicated and concreted than the computer mind. Computer mind is what we are going to feed, it is reproduced there. And our mind is so concrete. It is so complicated. At this time, what I am thinking, you cannot express. You don't know. So that is the difference of human mind and computer. So here we see that it is the nature of human being to forget the things. It is a semantic problem. Forgetfulness is a general trait, general feature of human being. Due to forgetfulness, we are not able to express the things what we actually want. To maintain this particular thing, we have to prepare the things many times. It's a general tendency when before taking the class, a teacher, a professor, he has to go through the things many times. If it is possible, if he is going to do like that, he can give at least 50% of the things what he has learned. So forgetfulness, it is a great semantic problem. It's a general semantic problem that we are not able to reproduce the things what we are having in our mind. Then wrong decoding of message. Wrong decoding of message means, suppose if I have seen an incident or if I heard something about an incident and what I have interpreted in my mind is something different. Suppose if I heard a story from a certain person, actually I did not hear the story very well. I interpreted this matter in a different form. That is, decoding is something different. Or an incident, what I see, what I hear, or a signal or a sign which I see, observe, and when at the time of interpretation, if I give in a different manner, that is due to the decoding problem. Decoding problem is also a semantic problem. Semantic problem, that means when we decode the thing in wrong direction, in wrong way, it will adversely affect the interpretation. When we present something, it will be a wrong matter. So we say that decoding, it's a great semantic problem. We have to decode the actual thing, otherwise it will be a wrong. Then last one, it is faulty translation. When we translate something, some matter from one language to another language, if we translate in a wrong direction, it will be wrong. That you must be knowing that if you translate, example, we say that, suppose if I give a sheet of paper to a student, and if I say, please burn it, please burn it. The student who has received this paper, he thought that, sir, he has said to burn it. He will be so much skeptical or doubtful. Okay, he told me that to burn this paper. He will go and use some matchbox to burn it. Actually, it was not my meaning. I told the student to take the copy. Burn in computer language, you must be doing it. That burn means to take a copy. So it is due to the wrong interpretation. I mean wrong reception of the message or the translation. Suppose this very student who is going and saying to some other students, sir, he has told me to burn this paper. Please burn it. So whatever he has thought, it is wrong. And his translation, when he translated this matter, when he reported this matter to some other persons, he interpreted it will be in wrong direction, in wrong meaning. And his wrong meaning and wrong translation, it will be a problem. Or we say that when we translate the speech of a leader, if he is translating this matter in a wrong direction, the meaning will be different. Example, one more thing. I said, or I asked, I am asked. The meaning will be different. So when we translated this particular sentence, the interpretation will be different. The matter, the translator who has interpreted this translated in the wrong direction, it is due to the lack of his knowledge, lack of this due to the translation problem. So we say that when we translate something, we must know the actual meaning of that particular sentence, particular matter. It is an important factor to know the exact meaning of the matter. That is another semantic problem. Then last one, it is physical barriers. Physical barrier, it means physical obstructions. You can see the slide. After semantic barriers, it is physical barriers. It will be the last one. It is.
Sir, your voice is not coming.
So you are not able to hear me? Hello?
Now, sir, it's
okay?
Yes, sir.
It may be due to some transmission problem that we are dealing now. It is due to some physical problem or maybe some internet problems. Are you able to hear me now? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. A few more points are there. The last one, it is physical barriers. The physical barriers are obstructions which can prevent the message from transmission. Obstructions means preventions, and these preventions are some hurdles which may prevent someone from the transmission of message. The first physical barrier, it is distance. It is a case of earlier time. If someone wants to pass the message, we had to wait for a long time. Example, you see, there you think there was a time, there was no telephone, no communication means. It was the general tendency of the people to take the message from one person to another person by persons only, carrying letters from place to place with the help of persons. And even in earlier times, in certain palaces of kings, they used some pigeons to transmit the message. They used these pigeons for carrying messages. It was a time, but it is not the problem in these days. But we see that when we say that distance becomes a great problem even in these days. Example, you see your office and the work site, factory, which is in a distant place, the officer or the general manager who wants to give some message, if there is no telephonic presentation or telephone facility, and suppose due to some natural calamities, telephones and other modern means are totally curtailed, it becomes a problem. And because your office and your work site, which is in different places, and it will be a great problem. It is a physical problem, which is a physical barrier, that you are not able to transmit your message to your subordinates. So distance is a great problem of transmission of message. The next one, it is physical distractions. What we face now, it is physical distraction, because you are you are living in different place, and I am taking class from Jaipur city, and my students are in West Bengal, in maybe Nepal or Bihar. So it's a great problem due to some physical distractions. So physical problems, I'm not able to transmit the message properly. So physical distraction, it becomes a great problem of transmission. So physical problems, it may be message leakage, then disturbance from some other personalities. Example, we say that if I take the class in first year BTech computer science, and some of the students on the veranda, they were howling, they were making disturbance and noise. So my concentration on that particular topic is distracted, and my students are disturbed. It becomes a great problem. I cannot pass my message. So it is due to physical distraction. Or we say that if I take the class in my university, some machine which is working somewhere very close to our building, it becomes also a distraction. So physical distraction, it becomes the reason for passing the actual message. And next one, interruption in media. Interruption in media, it means problem or distraction in media when we pass the message, when we get some call from other people, it is an interruption. Then some other message which is coming from the other side, it is also an interruption. And there is an internet problem is there, it is also an interruption. It becomes also a problem. And if any type of media interruption, it is also known as physical barrier. So physical barrier due to media problem, that is a physical barrier. Next one, it is overloading of message. The capacity of a particular stream, it is 2 messages for coming at a time. It will be difficult for the messenger and the message to pass the message or receive the message. Example, you see, if I talk to you, if you get a telephone call from the other side, that is interruption in the media. But if you get the message, 2-3 messages or 5 messages at a time, you cannot hear any of the messages. So it's a great problem, or it is a great distraction, physical distraction, if you get more than 1 message at a time. It is overlapping. It is overloading of overloading is a great problem. Instead of one message, if you get 2 message or 3 message, what you will do? You will hear only half from here, only few from here. So it becomes a great problem for you to hear the actual message you want to get. That is overloading. The last one, lack of sound information system. It is one among the great physical barrier. Until and unless we have sound information system, we cannot pass any message. It means you have no telecommunication means to transmit the message. If you don't have any mic, suppose 400, 500 students are in front of me, I will be an inefficient man to express my message. How can you say that? How can you expect that this presenter who can give the message to the entire 400 or 500 persons without using mic? So we have to use mic, or we have sound means of communication means to transmit the message to a mass. So in the case of mass communication, if we are hiding the message, if we are passing the message to only a portion of the people, it cannot be termed as mass communication. Mass communication is very wide and far and wide. It has great gravity. It has a large area. The scope is very wide. So we use certain modern techniques and technologies which we are giving our message. So technology in these days, it is very sound. So we have to use sound technologies to transmit the message. So lack of technology, it becomes a great problem. Example, in local schools, computer technology and modern gadgets are not there. So their system is so weak, and the students are not able to get the actual communication. Means what is happening in our area, in our country, they are not able to follow it. It is because of their lack of facilities. So example, you see, we cannot compete with the direct communication. Virtual classes are not competing with the direct class. Actual class, actual communication, face-to-face communication, it is so sound. And virtual classrooms are not so sound. There will be not so interactive. So interaction is possible only we have real classroom. Even if technology is so sound in these days, we cannot replace the actual classroom. But in these days, we are having only this type of facilities. Whatever the facilities which are in front of us, we are doing. It is for betterment. So we say that lack of technological advancement, technology, it becomes a great problem. It becomes a great physical problem. It is physically we are not able to take the class. Why we are taking this type of virtual classes? You are in different states. You are at your home. I am taking my class from my home. Why we are doing these things? In this pandemic situation, that is the only way to transmit the message. So technology is so developed, technology is so sound, that is the reason why we are able to contact, right? So technological development is an important factor for communication, that we accept it. But this technological development, lack of technological knowledge, it becomes a great physical problem of communication. So if anybody wants to ask any question, you can ask the questions. So you can give it in your chat box. Hello. Hello. Hello, dear students. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, if anybody wants to ask any question, it will be cleared soon. Otherwise, we can leave. No doubts. Okay. Okay, if anything, no doubt. Okay. Sir, it is possible to transmit a message without any ISP. Okay, if it is possible, then we will do it. So from the next class, we will try to okay, no doubt. Okay, if no doubt, then we can close the class. Okay. Okay, bye.
Thank you.
Okay, students, you may leave now today. Okay, class is over here.